Disney cruise news and rumors are in abundance lately, and here is a new one for their new class of ships. We've talked about these three ships a little bit before, but I want to dive deeper today. The rumor that I am hearing is the code name Meridian. But is this real or just wishful thinking? Let's dive into it. So Disney Cruise Line is expanding its fleet to 13 ships by 2031. Now for context here, they currently have 6 ships in the water, and they've been active for 30 years. That means they are adding 7 more ships over the next 6 years. Now, how do we know that these ships are real? Well, first of all, they were announced at D23.
We're adding 4 more cruise ships to our fleet,
Along with a 4th Wish-class ship that will be coming out in 2027. Also, we have this handy-dandy calendar that has shown up recently. This image is originally from Meyer Werft. This is a German shipbuilding company, and they build the Disney Cruise Line ships. Now, Meyer Werft does not build only Disney Cruise Line ships. They build a lot of cruise ships, so this table is just for the various ships for Disney Cruise Line. So you can see here, going from left to right, the owner is Disney Cruise Line for all but one, and that is the Oriental Land Company. We do not have the name for that ship yet. Going over another column, you can see here the names. NN, I'm assuming, means no name, because those are the ships we do not have names for yet. The Fantasy, Dream, Wish, and Treasure obviously have all been delivered already, so this shows a little bit of past and future context. After the yard number and the delivery date, you can see the gross tonnage of each ship. The PAX is the maximum number of guests that can be accommodated on the ship, and then the length is the length of the ship. So obviously we've got the Destiny dropping this fall. We've got the Adventure dropping this fall. They will both have their inaugural voyages. After that, there will be a 4th Wish-class ship that will come out in 2027. More to come on that soon. They will also have the Wish-class ship that is with the Oriental Land Company coming out in 2028. And then 2029, 2030, and 2031 will be brand new, smaller class ships that are rumored to be under the code name Meridian. These ships are so exciting. They're going to be about 100,000 gross tons each. They can accommodate approximately 3,000 guests compared to 2,700 on the smaller ships and 4,000 on the larger ships, with the Adventure being its own outlier with approximately 6,000 guest capacity. That makes these about 20% larger than the original Magic class ships, but definitely smaller than the Dream and Wish class vessels. Now, one of the really fun things about these ships is where they are going to be taking us, and because they are smaller, I think they are really going to be able to expand into a lot of other ports across the world. That is definitely my hope, and that is specifically because of the way they are designed, both their size and for environmental efficiency. One of the things that I think is really cool about these ships is they are very eco-friendly. They use renewable methanol and hydro-treated vegetable oil, which just sounds very cool to me. Very, very Back to the Future to be using vegetable oil for the ships. They will also feature advanced technologies like streamlined hulls. They also have a battery-powered shore power system so that the engines can shut off completely while they're in dock, which means 0 emissions in port. That is great for the environment and for all of the countries that those ships will visit. This design will allow them to access smaller ports, hopefully expanding their global itineraries. Honestly, I don't see how that is not part of the purpose of these ships. So, first of all, what is the deal with the code names? And second, where does Meridian come from? Because I need the receipts. So we'll start with the code name. The code name is something that I'm just going to refer back to the Wish ships for when they were creating the Wish class of ships, Wish, Treasure, and Destiny. In January 2019, in public documents from Port Canaveral, they named the code name for the Wish class ships was Project Triton. They had to have a code name for the class of ships because they needed upgrades at the port in order to accommodate the new Wish class ships. In August 2019, at the D23 Expo, Disney officially christened the first Triton class vessel the Disney Wish. So Triton was just a code name so that they could keep it secret and not let us know that the Wish, Treasure, Destiny were going to be the names of those Wish class ships. With these 3 new vessels that are coming, I'm not sure if we'll be able to find them on the port calendar like that because they might not need specific upgrades since they are upgraded themselves. Regardless, once the ships got out there and they finally told us that the name of the first ship was the Disney Wish, that's when they changed the name of the class to the Wish class. Well, actually, that's where they just publicly disclosed it, because Triton was the code name. So if you're really digging around for research, listening to a lot of videos, some people might refer to the Wish class of ships as the Triton class. As a matter of fact, I did that myself back before we knew the actual names of the ships, because that's what Disney Cruise Line likes to do. They want to give a code name so that you don't know what the actual name is, because they're probably going to announce the real name at a big event like D23, or they're just going to make kind of a big posting about it. I have a feeling because that got leaked, they went ahead and did the naming a little earlier, because the code name Triton was discovered approximately 3 years before the Disney Wish's actual delivery. And there are a few ways that we can actually find these code names before they are announced. They will often appear in public documents related to port infrastructure, like at Port Canaveral, or on shipyard schedules like Meyer Werft. So beginning in 2026 or 2027, I do think it's very likely that we can start seeing clues for the code names in documents. D23 is their fan event. They have one of those coming up this summer, and they often do big announcements at D23. So there is a small chance, I think, that they could mention the name for the new 3 ships. I think more likely the 4th Wish class ship that is due to come in 2027. So this is what we expect to see with the new class of ships, that they will have a code name, and then we will find out the actual names of the ships later, and then that will be the name of the class of ships. For example, the first ship was the Magic, and that is the Magic class for the Magic and Wonder. The first ship of the next class was the Dream, and that is the Dream class for the Dream and Fantasy. So Wish class, Wish, Treasure, and Destiny. And soon to be a 4th one. I cannot wait to tell you all about that one. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell. We'll let you know as soon as we have any details for that 4th Wish class ship. We do know it comes in 2027, so that's exciting. They've got to be giving out a lot of information very soon. Now here's the rumor that I've been hearing lately, and that is about the class name. The class name for these ships is not official. There has been speculation, though, that it might be called the Meridian class. Now I have seen this specifically in 2 places. DCL Duo and Disney Cruise Line blog have both mentioned this class name Meridian. I haven't found any other references to this name, but they are saying that they got this information from crew members on the ships. So we can't actually confirm at this time that it will be the Meridian class, but that is a likely name. Now, why Meridian? This is possibly inspired by the Meridian Bar on the Dream and Fantasy. It's an adults-only lounge. It's on the Deck 12 aft, and it's known for its martinis and panoramic views. And its name has nautical connotations as well. A meridian is a line of longitude, which aligns with Disney Cruise Line's naming traditions. For the Wish class ships, they chose Triton for the code name. Obviously, Triton is a nautical reference in Disney Cruise Line because the Little Mermaid's dad is Triton. They have Triton's restaurant on the Disney Wonder. And I have done extensive searches across news articles, fan forums, social media. There is nothing that I have seen supporting Meridian as the class name, except that for those people that say they heard it from crew on board. And crew members on board are often one of the best places to find out little tidbits of information that may be coming along for Disney Cruise Line. I don't think they tell them everything because we've seen some of that information can get out, but it's definitely a good place to start. And I've got to say, crew member spoilers are some pretty good ones. Crew members, they don't know everything that's going on all the time, but they have some pretty good details. They do usually have a pretty good idea of what's coming down the line. That being said, we don't have any paper trail. Meridian is not in any Port Authority agenda, not in an environmental filing. There's no trademark applications that exist for the Disney Meridian. So right now, it's really a working title. Great for tracking because we need something to call these ships. I am especially excited about the smaller class ships because the smaller ships are my favorite. I really love the Magic class. The Disney Wonder in particular is our very favorite. We did get engaged on that, so there's a little bit of that. My engagement ring comes from there as well, but I love the Disney Wonder even before all of that. The Cadillac Lounge is amazing. The adult areas are amazing on the Magic and Dream class ships, and the fact that there will be a maximum of 3,000 guests on board is also one of my favorites. You have shorter lines at dinner, at meet and greets. It's going to be a little bit easier to get a seat in the theater for the show. It's just not as crowded to me, and especially if you are on 7-night or longer cruises, it's even more like home. You do have dedicated crew members that you will see every evening at dinner that will attend to your stateroom every day, so seeing these people day in and day out really makes it feel more like home. Because of less guests on board, your interaction with the crew really makes it feel more personal, and so I just really love that family environment that seems to come from the smaller ships. With these 3 ships being maxed out at 3,000 guests, that's very close to the Magic class, because the Dream class and Wish class, they cap out at 4,000 guests. That's a big difference. And specifically, if these smaller ships go to any of Disney Cruise Line's island destinations, that is amazing as well, because I gotta tell you, when you go to Disney Cruise Line's private island, Castaway Cay, and head on down to Serenity Bay, which is their 18 and above area, if there are only 2,700 or 3,000 people on the ship, that area is not going to be very busy. But when you go on the Dream or Fantasy or Wish class ships, that area is full. It's hard to find a hammock, it's hard to find a chair. There's still amazing experiences. I love Castaway Cay. It is actually truly one of my happy places, but it is also that much more amazing with less people in attendance. And that just happens when you're on smaller ships. And with so many countries really starting to limit tourism, how many ships can come into the dock per day, how many people are allowed from those ships per day. If you have a smaller ship, it just makes it easier to navigate to access more ports. So it's super exciting. Disney Cruise Line is expanding its fleet with 3 smaller, eco-friendly ships set to debut in 2029, 2030, and 2031. While the name Meridian has been speculated as a potential class name, it remains unconfirmed, and typically these are revealed 2 to 3 years in advance, so I really expect them sometime next year or in 2027. Don't worry though, in the meantime, we have plenty of more Disney Cruise news coming, with the Disney Destiny, that's their new heroes and villains ship, having its maiden voyage later this year. The Disney Adventure, which is like their new theme park at sea, is also going to be having its maiden voyage from Singapore later this year. And then all the new details to come for that 4th Wish class ship that is expected to be delivered in 2 years from now, 2027. I fully expect some good announcements this summer at D23 regarding that ship. I hope I'm right. Stay tuned, I'll let you know. Plus the Oriental Land Company's ship in Japan, plus the 3 more ships that are coming after that. It is like Disney Cruise News heaven. So is Meridian the real deal? Right now, it's a compelling codename rumor. Just make sure you stay tuned here. I will be sure to let you know as soon as we hear any official news from Disney or any rumors, because, you know, I like to talk about Disney Cruise Line. It is my happy place and one of my favorite subjects in the world. If you've got any fun facts that you've heard or rumors, let us know in the comments below. We love to speculate. And if you haven't seen it yet, we polled over 10,000 Disney fans to find out what foods they think are the best and worst on the Disney cruise ships. Make sure you watch that one before you get on board.